Coming up tonight on SLU News 22.
Bombings in Nigeria.
Preparations for the Wilson trial.
We are all criminals.
And Macaulay Culkin is not dead.
Plus, national news and weather live from the Busch Student Center. This is SLU News 22.
Good evening, I'm Jocie Klocke.
And I'm Valerie Carrizales.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Earlier today, at least 48 students were killed in a Nigerian high school after a suicide bomber interrupted a morning assembly. Survivors said the bomber appeared to have hidden the explosive in a type of school bag popular with students. Currently, many Nigerians are angry with the military's inability to stop increasing attacks and bombings by the Boko Haram.
Monday, President Obama arrived in Beijing for meetings with the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation. While in China, Obama will also meet with the Chinese President Xi Jinping to discuss cybersecurity and rekindle Chinese-U.S. relations. As the U.S. and China have already agreed to extend the maximum lengths of students and business visas for each other's citizens. After China, Obama will travel to Myanmar and Australia.
Chief Meteorologist Brendan Williams is in the Weather Center with our first forecast. Brendan?
All right, guys, we've got a beautiful evening going on outside. Taking a quick look out on the quad. It's warm outside and it's gorgeous, but those temps aren't going to hang around long. Like I said, we've got those warm temps in the area, hanging about 68 across the area, 63 in Belleville, 62 out in Highland. And overnight tonight, we're going to dip down only to about 49 degrees. That warm air is going to hang with us, but that won't be the case for long. We're going to stay warm tonight, and into tomorrow is when that cold front's really going to move through. So we're going to get that bitter cold tomorrow and maybe some snow on the horizon. We'll take a look at that coming up at my full forecast. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brendan. Over the weekend, Pope Francis resigned Cardinal Raymond Burke to the position of Patron of the Order of Malta, a position with, quote, almost no responsibilities. Burke has been very critical of the Pope's openness toward the LGBT community. Before being reassigned, Burke was one of the highest-ranking Americans holding a position on the Vatican's Supreme Court. The Vatican has given no reason for the demotion of Burke.
The annual ranking of the world's 72 most powerful people, as determined by Forbes, has been released. To determine who is going to be on the list, voting is done by a panel of Forbes editors who consider financial resources, scope of action, and the number of people they impact. This year's list features 17 heads of state, which include the 3 most powerful people: Russian President Vladimir Putin, American President Barack Obama, and Chinese General Secretary Xi Jinping. The 39 CEOs and chairs control over $3 trillion in annual revenues. In addition, this year's class has 28 billionaires with a cumulative personal net worth valued excess nearly $800 billion.
Coming up next, your SLU area news. The St. Louis region is awaiting the grand jury decision over whether the Ferguson police officer who shot and killed 18-year-old Michael Brown will face charges. Most businesses on West Florissant have been boarded up their windows as a precaution. According to the St. Louis Department report, the department has spent $122,000 on additional protective gear and replenished tactical stocks including pepper balls, stock rounds, and tear gas canisters. In addition, the police department held trainings to respond to potential civil unrest. Many protesters have been taught to defuse tense situations and to identify people who plan to cause harm. There are also organized groups of medics and legal observers in the area.
1 in 4 Americans have a criminal record. We Are All Criminals is an open discussion about the remaining 75% and the crimes they got away with. The conversation will be held in the St. Louis room of the BSC at 6 p.m. on Thursday.
On Wednesday, a St. Louis circuit judge ruled that Missouri's ban on same-sex marriage was unconstitutional. This comes after state officials tried to uphold the ban in response to the issuing of 4 same-sex marriage licenses in June. Missouri Attorney General Chris Koster plans to appeal the ruling to the Missouri Supreme Court.
SLU's chapter of Sigma Theta Tau is hosting a food drive to benefit food pantries in the Ferguson and Shaw neighborhoods. Donations of non-perishable foods can be dropped off in the School of Nursing building through November 17th.
The 2015 SGA Election Commissioner, Liz Stark, is seeking help with the upcoming SGA elections. If you are a senior or a non-returning SLU student, SGA encourages you to apply for one of 8 Election Commission team positions. For more information, contact Liz Stark at estark4@slu.edu.
St. Louis University Museum of Art will open its newest exhibition, St. Louis Creates, at 5 p.m. Friday, November 14th. St. Louis Creates features art created by 9 local artists and covers a wide range of media and styles. Each of the participating arts have pieces that engage viewers differently and have been exhibited locally and internationally.
St. Louis University's student government organization held a smoke-free SLU forum to explain the possible policy at students. The SGA said they were debating between a strict policy with the DPS enforcement and soft policy using student accountability. The SGA intends to pass a soft policy in which students will be held accountable for keeping the campus smoke-free. SGA claims that after 6 months, there is 89% approval rating at schools with similar policies.
SGA is awarding 5 $1,000 scholarships to juniors and seniors who have demonstrated exceptional involvement and service to the university community. Applicants must have at least a 3.0 GPA and cannot be receiving a full tuition scholarship. The scholarships will be credited to the spring 2015 semester. Applications are due no later than Monday, December 8th at 5 p.m. For additional information and to find the application, check out this week's SGA email. Please contact SGA Vice President of Academic Affairs, Tom Lee English, at sga.academic@slu.edu if you have further questions.
Join the SLU bookstore in the BSC on Friday, November 14th for the first ever Blue Friday event to kick off the Billikens basketball season. The event is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and will feature a free gift for the first 300 attendees, as well as a snack, games, and prizes including a replica basketball jersey, SLU gear, and more. Stay to play Billiken Trivia for a chance to win free use of your spring semester books. For additional information, please contact the SLU bookstore at books.slu.edu.
St. Louis University Dance Marathon announced Mission 125 to raise $125 per dancer for the 2014 Dance Marathon on November 22nd. As part of Mission 125, participants who raise $125 or more will be given special incentives. Dancers will receive 1 free raffle ticket, a special indicator of fundraiser level, and their name projected on the fundraiser wall during the event. All of the money raised goes to the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals of Greater St. Louis. The St. Louis University Dance Marathon will be on November 22nd at the Busch Student Center. For more information, please visit www.sludm.org.
Coming up next, your work week forecast. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Meteorologist Brendan Williams is here with us now for your weather update. Brendan?
Well, we had a beautiful day today. It was nice and warm, windy. With that southern wind, though, it felt great. And you're going to want to remember today because it's probably going to be the warmest weather that we're going to see, at least for the rest of the month, I want to say. Like I said, 65 outside right now, still pretty warm, so you've still got a chance to enjoy this weather while it lasts. And that weather is thanks to warm air that we've got floating up from the south that's keeping us in these moderate temperatures. And that's not going to hang around long, though, because overnight tonight around 3 a.m. we've got a cold front that's going to work its way through, and we're going to start getting air, cold air from Alaska working its way down, and that's going to bring us some really bitter cold temperatures for the rest of the week. Taking a look overnight, we're going to get down to only about 49 degrees. So not too bad tonight, and then overnight, close to midnight or so, as this front starts to work its way through, we're going to see some showers. Not much, but a chance for a sprinkle or two. Then into tomorrow, that cold front continues to work its way through. We're going to start out at our high of about 48 degrees, and it's going to get colder from there. And then looking ahead to the rest of your 5-day forecast, we've got a high of 48 on Tuesday, which we're going to hit early in the day, and then that cold air forces its way through. Wednesday, we're only going to get up to about 39. Thursday, only 36. That's going to be our coldest day of the week. Friday, 37. It'll be sunny. And then Saturday, we actually have a chance of flurries out there.
Yikes. Thanks, Brendan. Up next, a look into the world of sports and entertainment. Welcome back. We're here with Liza Basso from SLU Theater, and she's here to talk about the upcoming production of She Kills Monsters. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you, and thank you all for having me here.
Well, thank you for coming. So just explain, how is She Kills Monsters a different show than SLU has ever put on in the past?
Yeah, well, what is amazing about the show that we're doing, She Kills Monsters, is that it is probably the most action-packed show that we've had here, at least in my time here. There's a ton of stage combat. It's really exciting. A lot of weapons are used, and it's also a period piece from the 90s, and so I think a lot of people here hold a special place in their heart for the 90s. It references a lot of bands, a lot of cultural elements from the 90s, which is, it's been really fun to be a part of.
Well, it sounds very interesting. So can you just explain how you were involved in the show?
Yeah, so just a little background on the show. So basically, a girl's younger sister dies, and she is caught cleaning out her room and finds a game kind of manual. And so she brings it to a game shop, and a guy tells her that it is actually a manual to the game Dungeons and Dragons. And so the game kind of comes to life around her, and she's kind of thrown into this game, and she has to kind of battle different monsters, demons, and dragons and such. And I am actually one of the obstacles she has to overcome. I play Farah, who is a fairy, a purple-haired fairy. So I get to wear a wig and wings and all that. So yeah, I'm one of the super intimidating obstacles that she has to overcome. And so we get to have a fight scene, and it's been a lot of fun. And I always love SLU Theater productions because you always learn something new. We're always doing something fun and exciting. So yeah.
So you guys have a lot of technology being used in this show. How does it enhance the story?
Yeah, so like I said, so this is definitely our most action-packed, tech-heavy show. So the lighting and sound really are key elements to this show, I would say. So we use shadow puppets, so a lot of dark lighting with shadows and people behind them, and the different sounds, some of the 90s music, and in transitions of each scene. And the lighting, I would say, is definitely a key element to this show to really help make you feel like you're in the game and help you kind of transform into that time period and into that game and then out of it. And the costumes are just genius. They're so detail-oriented. They're all very, intimidating, and all the weapons are detailed. And it's a very solid, well put together show. So I'm very excited about it.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of interesting and unique things that are being put into it. What would be your favorite part?
My favorite part? Well, as a whole in general, I would say what I love about this show is that it is a hilarious comedy, in my opinion, yet there are some very tender moments, which I think a lot of people can relate to some of the personal struggles of the characters in this show. And also, though, detail-oriented, there's a little dance-off that occurs towards the end of the show that is very, very entertaining and hilarious to watch some of these characters dance to some nice 90s music. So I do enjoy that part.
So how can people go see the show, and where can they get tickets?
Yeah, so we have a box office located in Xavier Hall. When you enter, it's kind of by Touchdown Jesus, if anyone's familiar with that. So it's open from Tuesday through Friday from noon to 3 p.m., as well as an hour before each showtime. So we open this weekend, and Friday and Saturday performances are at 8 p.m., so it'll be, the box office will be open an hour before then. And then the following weekend, so the 2 weekends before Thanksgiving, Friday, Saturday, and then we have a Sunday matinee at 2 p.m., and all the Friday and Saturday shows are at 8. And you can pay for the tickets with cash, card, check, or now we're doing this new thing where we accept Billiken bucks. Oh. So that's exciting.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Liza, for coming. And make sure you guys come check out the show opening this weekend, right?
Yes.
All right. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The Rams are on the verge of pulling out another upset victory over the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday, but fell short. The Rams could not score enough points to keep up with the Cardinals, and the Rams lost 31-14. They are now 3-6 next week in St. Louis. They are going up against Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are 7-2.
The Nashville Predators beat the St. Louis Blues 2-1 on Saturday. St. Louis coach Ken Hitchcock urges his team to step it up, saying, quote, "We are going to need a lot more from people if we expect to be good in this division," end quote. The Blues have the chance to rebound on Tuesday when the last-place Buffalo Sabres come to town for the first of 3 home games, which include a rematch against the Nashville Thursday night. The Blues are 7-3 on the season.
Italia Rail, experts on train travel to, from, and around Italy, is now accepting applications to study abroad in Italy for the 2015 spring semester. Students that are accepted to the program also have a chance to win a $1,000 award. Interested students must have a 3.0 or higher GPA, receiving financial aid from a recognized U.S. university, and have an overall dedication and enthusiasm for studying abroad in Italy. To apply, go to www.italyrail.com/scholarship. Applications will be accepted through November 15, 2014. Winners will be announced mid-December.
President Obama today that he intends to make the internet a public utility, such as water or electricity. The move would enforce several regulations on the internet that are overlooked when done by private corporations. The move will eliminate paid prioritization in regards to internet speeds, making the internet and the information it holds cheaper and more accessible.
Macaulay Culkin, a famous child star, was recently the subject of a death hoax. Culkin is most known for roles in the first 2 Home Alone movies, My Girl and Uncle Buck. Culkin disproved all death rumors in a unique fashion by parodying a scene from the 1989 movie Weekend at Bernie's, a dark cult comedy. Culkin is currently on tour with the Pizza Underground, a tribute group to Velvet Underground. When Culkin walked out to perform Saturday, his first words were, quote, "I'm alive."
One Powerball ticket sold in St. Louis matched all 6 numbers to win the $202.6 million jackpot. It is the only ticket nationwide that won the big prize in Saturday's drawing. Susan Goat, a Missouri lottery spokeswoman, said that this is the 5th biggest jackpot ever in Missouri. She also mentioned that the winnings ticket was sold at Quick Trip in Ferguson. The winner has not yet come forward and has 180 days to claim their prize. The deadline is May 7th.
So, Brendan, it was a beautiful day today. How's the rest of the week looking like?
Well, it was a beautiful day is the key thing there. So if you've got a chance, you might still want to get out and enjoy that weather because it's not going to hang around. We've got the rest of this evening to enjoy some of the warmish temperatures we're going to have tonight. And then as tomorrow works its way through, we get this bitter cold blast, and it's looking like that's going to be our new normal for the weather here to stay for a little while at least. So if you don't have a jacket, you're going to want to get one soon because it's going to be cold out there.
Well, that's our show for the night. Thank you for watching.
Don't forget, you can always get the latest movie and reviews and news online at slutv.slu.edu or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be back here next week at 6 p.m.